I am a father who probably shouldn't be. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I had arguably the worst moment of my life spending time with her. I got food poisoning in public because she just touched all my food with her gross toddler hands, and then I ate it because it's my food. And then I was out, and I had crippling stomach pains, and so I had to go into a public restroom, and then I just put her in the corner of the stall, and she just had to scream and watch. Awful moment. She's screaming, trying desperately to escape. She's trying, and I'm just holding on to her on a toilet. I'm like, you can't go. You must stay. Creating a core memory in her life. She's like finding out about betrayal. Humiliating. Awful too, because I've been hiding my dick from my child for 3 years now. I believe it's every father's responsibility to hide your dick from your child. Thank you. Yeah. You think it'd be easy, but for some reason, every father has failed at this one thing. I think you should hide it. But a lot of parents fight me on that. They're like very chill about nudity. They're like, whatever, man, it's my kid, I made it. Who cares? It's like, all right, here's my deal. I saw my dad's dick, and I am unhappy. I wish I didn't see it. And for whatever reason, the way brains work, I can remember it better than I remember my first kiss. I don't want my daughter to see it. And my wife fights. She thinks I'm insane. She's like, why do you shower with our daughter and you're wearing a bathing suit? I'm like, why are you arguing with me? Well, you want her to see it? What's your game here? Do you want to remember the kiss or not? Me and my wife just went on our first date in a little while. It's not even... It's like role-playing a date when we got... It's not a real date. Like, it looks like a date. Like, if you saw me and my wife on a date, you'd be like, oh, yeah, there's food and everything. They're, like, talking to each other. It's not an actual... Like, you only date people that you don't actually know. Because then you can ask them questions like, what do you do? Like, you don't know what they do. Where do you go? What is everything else outside of this? You have no idea. I know everything about my wife. So I'm like on a date and my questions are all like, how's your chair? She need a new chair. This is literally the only thing I don't know about you. Do you want a new chair? When I'm on a date, I have to I pray for something to happen in the restaurant so we can talk about it. That's like how I speak on a date. I wait. Yeah. I always pray for a waiter to fuck up and drop a tray just so I can turn to her and be like, oh, can you believe the waiter? If you're a waiter, and I'm assuming most of you are, and you're ever waiting on a married couple, do something insane. You're helping just bring out their food and then just take a big bite of it. It's not gonna feel good in the moment, but they're going to be banging in the car after that. Just that waiter was awful. They're going to talk about that for a month. Do something crazy. You're helping the family. If you're a waiter and you just do your job, you've destroyed a loving home. A daughter can't see dad because you couldn't just drop the soup. The worst part about going out on a date is I always have to drive this teenage babysitter home. She just it's a really awful moment because I've had a few, and then I gotta drive whatever. Cut that out. Don't include that in the. I didn't have any. There's like nothing to talk about with like I have nothing in common with a teenage girl, and then there's also this like underlying vibe that like all older men are predators, and you have to alleviate that, and I always do. I'm like, hey, just I find you extremely unattractive. You're like to me like a sheep or a chair. There's nothing for me here. You're like a lamp. Hopefully that makes you feel more comfortable. And the rest of this drive home. Yeah. I was driving this girl home, and then there was this like awful lull in conversation, and then I like freaked out, and then I accidentally revealed that I'm kind of worried about money. Oh my God. Humiliate. Poor girl. She's trying desperately to like make small talk. She's like, how was dinner? I was like, it was expensive. I don't know what I'm gonna do. She's like, have you tried babysitting? I'm like, So, tell me more. My wife is furious at me because we have this child and I have no money. You can kind of see where she's coming from. She's not wrong. She's always saying the same thing to me all the time. She's always like, David, why didn't you plan for the future? Why didn't you plan for the future, Dave? That's like her favorite thing. Why didn't you plan for the future? It's like, plan for the future? What? Plan this future? How do you plan for this future? Like, all right, in 2019, my cat's Instagram account got picked up by Meow, and that's the most money I've made in my entire life. How do you plan for that? The cat taking over the family finances. Awful moment where the cat made, like, overnight, the cat making so much more money than me. A cat should not support a family. I'm going to say it again because I see some of your eyes like, oh, maybe your cat should, but no, a cat should not. Your wife does not respect you when the cat supports. It's fine to bend over and feed your pet cat, but it's awful to bend over and feed the head of the household. Oh, eat. Your money. How do you plan for that? They didn't mention this job at like high school career day. Just like, hey man, maybe you could get into like business or just invest in a really hot cat. You see, in the future, you can monetize your hot cat on your phone. Confused? All right, I'll try to explain it. In the future, there's this thing called TikTok. It's like a teenage porn app designed by the Chinese to get people to dance. And you can upload videos of your hot cat on there, and then if enough people like it, then they'll ask brands like Oreos if they can throw up an advertisement before your cat. And then you can get a cut of Oreos. All right, still a little confused. All right, I understand. You do this on the phone, I understand. In the future, phones are not phones. Like, you can still call people, but no one's going to do that. You do so much other stuff. Like, you can press a button, and a guy will just show up at your house, and then you just get into his car, and then he'll take you to the zoo. And there's people having sex on there, and you can watch that on the bus, and no one will stop you. And of course, you can get a cut of Oreo with your hot cat. So plan for that future. I think about that. Whenever my wife says it, I like, plan for the future. It's like, well, hey, you're here too. Why didn't you plan for the future? We're both in this shitty apartment in New Jersey. Why didn't you plan? Like, my wife, all she wants is a house, and she married a mover who dreams of one day making $20K a year as a comedian. Sick plan, dumbass. At least I had the foresight to marry someone with a job. What's your deal? My wife has a lot to say about that joke, but what's awesome is you'll never hear any of it. She didn't put in the work like Daddy. She didn't hit the mics, so her thoughts die in the house. And only my thoughts live on. Hey, thank you guys for coming out tonight. It's been a fun show.